gave me a place to go. It started my kind of creative side. It's where I first learned how to really dance through a great program that was there. It gave you a sense of kind of like belonging. And so, you know, you live in this neighborhood and you walk to this club and you go in there and all of a sudden you're part of something really big and amazing, it feels like. And at the same time, it feels like yours, like a club, like you're part of this great club. And I would dance and spend my afternoons there and then go home for dinner and dream about the next day and what we were gonna do. And it just gave me a great sense of hope and really, really kick-started my dreams. There was Harold and Larry Maldonado, Lorenzo Maldonado. Harry ran the back part of the club, which was the arts and entertainment part of the club, and where they had just built this new wing with a stage and everything. And I think of Larry and how much he took me and my sister and one of my best friends under his wing and really, really showed us what it was to be a performer. And it was one of the best times of my life. It's never something that's going to get old, you know, kind of nurturing children or helping them dream or giving them self-esteem or giving them a sense of community. It's something that we're always going to need. It's just as important now as ever. Boys and Girls Clubs, great futures start here.
Boys and Girls Club saved my life. What I mean by that, growing up in the projects of Newark, New Jersey, a lot of negative temptations, drugs, gangs, a lot of bad things. So, you know, mother and father both worked very hard to support the family. So they would say, go in the Boys and Girls Club, play, fulfill your dream. You want to make it in this NBA thing or NFL thing, go in there, play with other kids, but do not leave this building until we come pick you up. And that was my daily routine. But in there, I've learned how to become a people person. I've learned how to become a team player. I've learned how to become a nice guy. I've learned how to become a protector. I've learned how to become a leader. And that's all because of the Boys and Girls Club. My message is the same message that my mother gave me. My mother's also a Boys and Girls Club alumni member. You know, she always told me, be a leader and not a follower. People always throw the term role model around, but I use the term real model, you know, because when you look at a superstar like me, what you see is what you get. And I think the kids can, you know, relate to me. I'm just like them. Jeans, you know, shirts, hanging out, rims, rap music. So, you know, they look at me and they say, you know what? I can do that. Boys and Girls Clubs, great futures start here.
The Boys and Girls Club is instrumental in creating great citizens, you know, people who know how to interact well with others, kids who believe in themselves, kids who know that they're capable of greatness.
You know, I love the club. It's the reason I'm here. It's taught me so many lessons, and I can talk about it in a positive way and an honest way for the rest of my life.
One of the great experiences of my life, the years growing up from 1947 until I left home in 1959, I was a member of the Boys Club and I loved it.
I would not be sitting here as the person who I am today with the character that I have if it was not for the Boys and Girls Clubs of America. This is truly the best gift I was ever given.
When you're with the Boys and Girls Club, you have constructive things to do, fun things to do. You meet with one another. There's no fighting. There's a lot of love, a lot of harmony, and you automatically are shown and taught because of that camaraderie how to get along with people.
It's never something that's going to get old, you know, kind of nurturing children or helping them dream or giving them self-esteem or giving them a sense of community. It's something that we're always going to need. It's just as important now as ever.
It's a great collection of people here today, and I'm very happy that Ron volunteered and that Jennifer's here. But we have a great group of people from all walks of life who all share the Boys and Girls Club in common.
Yeah, I mean, I just thought it was an amazing idea, and he's like, we'll send a letter and we'll write it from. It was from me and Denzel to kind of pull everybody together as the chair people to make this great PSA and show people how effective the clubs are and how so many successful people that they actually know came through a Boys and Girls Club at one time in their life.
Oh my gosh, it was so amazing when I got the invitation. I'm like, this is gonna be incredible, just to get so many people involved, and we're all giving back to an amazing cause. So when J-Lo and Denzel reached out to get, all the alumni to be a part of this amazing movement, I said, wow, I'm there. No question, I'll be there.
They came up with just a simple understanding that children walk in and adults are made.
Look, I think everybody wanted to be a part of it because they believe in the Boys and Girls Clubs, but also it is a kind of a celebration of achievement and a kind of a recognition that remarkable, unexpected gains can be made by people some folks might not have bet on.
It's such a wonderful opportunity. And when you look at how star-studded this PSA is, you get it. We all know, every person in this PSA, that the Boys and Girls Club is a big part of who we are.
Boys and Girls Clubs, great futures start here.
It really wasn't safe for any child to really leave home.
And a lot of kids can get in a lot of trouble.
When I was around 3 years old, my father left me as a child.
It's one of the most poverty-stricken areas in the state.
Drug dealers right around the corner, right next to our home.
Gang violence and teen pregnancy.
I felt like I was helpless, very helpless.
I watched my mom almost commit suicide in front of my whole entire family.
I've actually lost one of my friends due to gang violence.
There was a lot of abuse towards my mom.
All of my friends that I grew up in elementary and middle school have been pregnant.
My brother, who is my greatest role model, well, he used to be my greatest role model, he got into doing drugs, he let his grades slip, and he dropped out of high school.
We had to move out of our home. We've been displaced 2 times this year.
Well, one trial that I've had to endure in life was losing 6 close friends, and 4 of them were from suicide and the other 2 were from car accident. Just was unrealistic. And because we're so young, so we're invincible, and just didn't seem like that was possible.
My aunt had a baby, and one day she brought her boyfriend over. He needed a place to sober up, and he laid into the bed where the baby was sleeping, and he rolled over, suffocated the baby. And I'm only about 10 years old, and I kind of felt like it was my fault, that I could have done more for her, and that if she wouldn't have died, that us going into CPS custody, that wouldn't have happened. So I kind of blame myself for all of that happening.
I just felt like giving up, and didn't feel like there was anything to live for anymore.
I was standing in front of a brick wall. I wasn't going anywhere. And the Boys and Girls Club is the reason why I'm on my way to college now, and I feel like I'm a success now.
They were the guides, of the tour of your life.
The club is what it says it is. It's a positive place for kids.
A place for me to get away from everything at home and feel like I had people who I could trust.
That's really amazing that one place in our community could make such a big difference in others' lives and in my own.
Without the club, they would have never identified that I was dyslexic. They would have never helped me through high school, and I wouldn't have got through my freshman year.
It's a pillar of great things and opportunity and hope.
Without the club, my life would have missed the last piece of the puzzle.
The Boys and Girls Club is the guidance for me. They're my life coaches.
Thanks to the Boys and Girls Club, I now have a future.
The club has given me my life.
Be independent.
Be motivated.
Be kind.
Be determined.
Be respectful.
Be real.
Be talented.
Be loyal.
Be strong.
Be yourself.
Be loving.
Be educated.
Be admirable.
Be honest.
Be courageous.
Be happy.
Be me.
Be great.
When it comes to our kids, what works? What works to keep them safe and healthy? Help them learn and grow, and lift them up to the better life we envision for them. What works to build their futures, here and now? Boys and Girls Clubs. There's a better life and a brighter future for our kids, right around the corner, right in their neighborhood, right in their local Boys and Girls Club.
You know, because of that opportunity of going to the Boys Club, I think was the path that I was put on in life that brought me to where I am today.
In a recent Harris survey, former club kids told of lives changed, even saved, by the club experience.
Over half of the alumni of Boys and Girls Clubs told us that their membership, their participation in those clubs had helped to save their lives. And in many cases, they meant that literally, as they told us.
But the news is not all good. Too many young people do not receive the guidance they need to graduate from high school, to avoid the devastation inflicted by violence, gangs, and drugs, or to become responsible adults.
But I remember leaving the club that day and Charles White saying to me that, you know, with your smarts, you can do anything you want in life. And that stuck with me.
In 2006 alone, 1.2 million teenagers did not graduate from high school in the United States. That's 30% of the class of 2006. The number increases to an astonishing 50% among some minority groups. Boys and Girls Club kids buck those trends. Some 28% of our alumni say they would have dropped out of high school if not for the club. Even more remarkably, 51% say they achieved a higher level of education than they thought possible because of the club.
I'm trying to be that one that, you know, takes my family out of the hole. And yes, I want to do it for my family and for my, you know, very close friends around me, but it's mostly for myself. I'm trying to come up and be the different one in my family, trying to set the standard.
Crime and drug and alcohol abuse are also among the most serious problems affecting America's young people.
Do you know that 80% of the 2.2 million prisoners are high school dropouts? So there's a whole cycle, vicious circle here of problems. We need more Boys and Girls Clubs and fewer prisons.
Clubs are effective in combating these disturbing trends as well.
The Boys and Girls Club has provided me with hope because without the Boys and Girls Club, half of my old friends are either gangbangers or sell drugs. And I'm only 15, so by being in the Boys and Girls Club, it's given me hope of having a better life.
Another factor that prevents children from succeeding is their health. According to Centers for Disease Control, 16% of adolescents in the United States are overweight. This figure has nearly tripled in the last 20 years. Some 25% of young people ages 12 to 21 report that they do not participate in any vigorous physical activity. This lack of fitness and resulting obesity means that 16% of our teens are at risk for heart disease, high cholesterol, and high blood pressure. Type 2 diabetes has also increased dramatically in teens as a direct result of adolescent obesity.
We're starting to see that there's a difference in the attitude and what they know about nutrition, how it relates to diabetes, about obesity and how it relates to diabetes.
At Boys and Girls Clubs, kids receive the space and encouragement they need just to be kids, to get out there and play and socialize, to exercise the body as well as the mind. Of the alumni surveyed, 80% said the club experience had a positive impact on their attitude toward fitness and health. with 74% participating in organized sports.
But the one thing about the Boys and Girls Club is that when I went there were other kids just like me. Other kids that didn't have the brand new shoes on, whose parents couldn't afford them. Other kids who didn't have a dad at home, just like me. So there were issues that I could talk about and be around other kids, and I didn't feel different.
But prevention done right with good people, dedicated individuals, and funded appropriately does work. And the example really is Boys and Girls Clubs.
Clearly, Boys and Girls Clubs work. Clubs are a critical ingredient in giving young people the support they need to overcome enormous odds. Clubs also promote community service and civic engagement. An overwhelming 92% of club alumni report that helping others is a priority in their lives. 81% said the club helped them develop a sense of responsibility to give back to their community.
But Impact 2012 is not just a plan. It's a call to action for our clubs and for our country. So what are we going to do? We're going to make significantly greater strides in the impact we have on young people. We're also going to recommit ourselves to our mission to inspire and enable all young people, especially those who need us most, to become responsible, caring, and productive citizens.
Please join Boys and Girls Clubs and all of our supporters in responding to this call to action. Let's show kids that they matter. It's up to all of us.
It's like the best thing that ever happened to me, pretty much. It's like a birthday, but like 10 times better.
It's given me so much in the way of just how I should live my life, like being a good person, being a leader, standing up for what I believe in. Those are all things that will help me definitely become who I want to be.